Sagittarius, you know the drill. October brings a whole new set of astrological energies your way that are going to affect you in specific ways. So in today's video, let's dive into your October of 2025 horoscope. Hello Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about your sign's horoscope for October of 2025. In today's video specifically, I'm going to cover what may be coming up for you as major priorities and major themes in October of 2025. The transits that I want you to note, the planetary movements of October of 2025, and my top tips and recommendations for you, Sagittarius, to align with the energies of the stars of October of 2025 to your benefit. Now, quick disclaimer, I know that the overlay over the screen said all planetary transits, but I'm not covering every single transit this month because I did the research for all the aspects and sextiles, trines, and more happening this month. And there's such a ridiculous amount happening that to record it all would have made this a 3-hour long horoscope. So today I'm really just covering what I think is most important for you to note and gives you a broader view, but still complete view of what is happening in this month for you. So if you want to get those more detailed aspects and longer videos or more videos on those transits, I recommend that you subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications, because every Sunday I publish a weekly forecast, at least I try to, where I cover all the transits for the week, what is going to be happening, the do's and don'ts, what may be coming up for you, and the spiritual lesson behind all these transits at large. So subscribe to the channel for that. We'll talk more about my offerings if you like today's video at the end of today's video. But with that all out of the way, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, let's get into your October of 2025 horoscope, starting off with what is going to be likely the major theme for you present this month. As you'll see, I will put over the screen kind of a summary I created for your entire October at large, including the areas of life that are in main focus and what to contemplate and do based off of this. So if you want just your key takeaways, Sagittarius, I recommend that you screenshot this and just save it as your desktop wallpaper. Maybe pull up this video on your computer to save it as your desktop wallpaper. If you want it at a higher resolution, I will be sending this out on the 1st of the month in my newsletter, and I will find a way to make it so that you guys can access this later on if you join the newsletter after October 1st. But overall, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, the major themes for you as a general consensus of what you may be prioritizing, thinking about, and moving towards in the month of October is purpose, community, as well as introspection. As a ever-changing, fast-paced, maybe stereotypically adrenaline-seeking Sagittarius who's wanting to always explore new horizons, the month of October seems to help you bring a slower pace of life, which can be very beneficial based off of your other aspects in your chart. And this can feel like a time where you're getting to really connect with others, especially. It may be potentially a very social month, but one where socialization feels much more balanced, much more harmonious, and much more welcoming. You're focused on finding groups of people who you feel accepted and important around, and you're also focused on being someone who someone feels accepted and important around. This is about your highest aspirations. This is about you prioritizing your purpose-driven projects this month, and also a sense of community. And additionally, though, with that, while it may have this theme of purpose and socialization, you have a deep desire to go within this month and discover maybe the deeper thoughts that are lying beneath the surface so that you can create a deeper relationship to yourself. So if I had to even more briefly try to summarize what I see happening for you, Sagittarius, in the month of October, I would say it's finding connection out there and then finding connection within here. So why exactly do I say all this for you, Sagittarius? I want to explain in more depth, and the best way to do so is through understanding the transits. So let's get into the transits happening in October, starting off with one of the most basic transits I always love to cover first and foremost, which is the Sun. Per usual, the Sun transits 2 different signs this month, Libra and Scorpio. Libra energy for you, Sagittarius, is your 11th house of purpose, community, big groups, big dreams. And your 12th house energy is Scorpio energy. So this is your unconscious fears, unconscious beliefs, solitude, dreams, introspection, and contemplation. And so wherever the sun transits, this tells you the area of life you may want to prioritize. Just as we have growing seasons for certain plants and vegetables and fruits, we have growing seasons for the areas of our life. So for you, with Libra season, the sun transiting Libra and the sun transiting Scorpio, this is your season to grow your purpose, your community, to cultivate your aspirations and your dreams and your projects, as well as to cultivate your relationship to your solitude, to your inner work, to your inner dialogue, to your unconscious beliefs, and to cultivate your relationship with just contemplation overall. And so overall this month, there may be, with Libra season in general, a call for you to connect and bring balance to your life through these social groups and aspirations. Now, I really do invite you, Sagittarius, because there's two main components of the 11th house, to pause this video and ask yourself, what feels more prevalent in my life? My option one, dreams, aspirations, purpose-driven projects, or my community, my friend groups, my social network, my place in the world that makes me feel important. Maybe there's one that resonates more than the other. Maybe you feel like a little bit of both, and that's okay too. But identifying these can help you understand these interpretations, so I don't have to recap the same themes in 1,000 different ways over and over. Point being, with the sun transiting Libra in this house of yours, whichever one feels more relevant to you, you're seeking balance, harmony, and connection here. And so what is really accentuated here is that Libra season reminds us all that we need to be understood, to be approved of, and to give that in return. And it reminds us that we need cooperation, harmony, and balance in our being, in our life. And there is somewhere where we can cultivate this more. So maybe for you, Sagittarius, this is more about finding a sense of harmony with your life, a sense of balance in your life through your aspirations and dreams and projects. Or maybe this is about finding balance in your life through your community, through your friend groups, and through your connections. And additionally, when we hit Scorpio season on the 22nd of the month, I believe, this is shifting your focus to introspection. The 12th house has to do with going within, and it's the final house of the wheel, and it represents this idea that in the end our mind dictates our matter, whether that is in a manifestational sense, or if that is in a more I see how my perception shifts how I understand situations perspective. And so regardless of which it is, when we have the sun enter Scorpio into your 12th house, this is a great time to spend more time alone, to do some inner work, to go see a therapist or a psychologist. Find modalities for addressing your deeper unconscious thoughts. Maybe read a book about self-help or psychology. Maybe go to a meditation retreat. Maybe spend more time simply in isolation. So there could be a certain modality that you prefer with this, Sagittarius, but overall, Sagittarius, 12th house energy with this Scorpio season just also reminds you that making space for contemplation can feel really, really good. Now, additionally, we have quite a few other Scorpio energies present that I will be presenting over the screen as I speak, but we have Mercury, Mars, and Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, two of which are in Scorpio for the entire month. And so during Libra season, while you are focused on maybe prioritizing your purpose, your communities, harmony, you're also seeking depth at the same time. And so these stories are intertwined rather than being a black and white focus on this, then focus on that. And so what I see happening for you with Mercury being in Scorpio, first and foremost, from the 6th to the 29th, is you're wanting to cultivate your mental understanding of your deeper psychology, and you're channeling your mental energy into understanding your inner workings. So this is a time where your mental energy feels like it wants to be channeled to, simply put, doing inner work, to break through unconscious fears, understand your programming, understand your psychology, to understand your attachments. This could specifically be about your codependent attachments or your obsessive patterns, because this is Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy reminds you to be immersed, to be obsessed. And so with this being 12th house energy, this is about Sagittarius going deep within in passionate, obsessive ways to understand their deeper psychology, while also understanding what they may obsess with and understanding the deeper psychology of why. So this is a really deep psychological period for you, Sagittarius, one that happens annually for you and is accentuated with Mercury and Mars and Black Moon Lilith being here. So Mercury being here says your mental energy wants to be channeled here. Also, with it, Mercury being here, it says that you may want to talk more about these more deeper topics. You may be more interested in having conversations that are on the more contemplative, introspective, or what's the last word I'm looking for? Contemplative, introspective, and psychological, investigative end, sharing deeper thoughts and deeper inner workings. Hence why it may be good to see a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor during this time, potentially. Just an idea. And with Mars being here in the sign of Scorpio, your physical energy wants to be channeled in solitary ways as well. So in one more general, broad interpretation that I don't put as much of my, so to say, heart into, but worth noting, or don't feel as intuitively, is Sagittarius, this can be a really great month-long period to work on solitary projects. So writing projects, what are projects and things you do behind closed doors that don't require interaction with anyone, like research or analysis or writing or creating. These could be things you feel more rewarded and called to do this month with Mars and Scorpio. But additionally, Mars and Scorpio could just simply mean that you feel more called to do things on your own. And with Black Moon Lilith here, it's important to note that while you feel this call to solitude, deep inner work, there may be some shame coming up along the way. This is a really great month and opportunity for doing deep healing in regards to what you feel like is too much maybe to handle psychologically, or what is too much from you for the world to handle. Black Moon Lilith brings up fear of rejection. And so there may be some sort of healing here in regards to doing inner work about recognizing your rejection wounds, healing rejection wounds, and identifying what feels like too much. Maybe you feel like you're going to be rejected for wanting to spend time on your own. Is that something Sagittarius feels, Sun, Moon, and Rising? I feel like that would be, in a sense, a thing for you. You guys are known for your explorative, adventurous personalities to some degree, sociable and welcoming, enthusiastic, but maybe you just want to be quiet. Maybe you just want to hide behind the scenes and you feel like you're going to be rejected for not being the life of the party. Maybe that's something that's coming up for you this month. Maybe that's a long shot. And additionally, on the note of Mercury transits to bounce back, as I said over the screen, Mercury is going to enter your sign of Sagittarius on the 29th, which channels your focus and mental energy towards yourself. So you're doing deeper inner work of the things that are more behind the scenes in your head, and then you're going to bring more conscious awareness to who you are, your appearance, your identity, and how you engage in the world and what your avatar, so to say, is. Also, a transit I almost forgot to cover that has already been over the screen when I talked about points in the chart is the North Node is still transiting Pisces this month, and the South Node is still transiting Virgo. So if you want depth on what this transit means, I recommend you go watch your Sagittarius 2025 horoscope for the entire year. That is on my playlist, 2025 yearly horoscopes. But overall, with the fact that these are still here, the overarching goal and theme of this month for you, Sagittarius, is, I'm trying to recall what house, I believe it's your 10th house for you. Oh no, it's your 4th house. Other way around. This is a really big month for you about still overall overarching. You're still pursuing a sense of home, and you're moving away from overly being focused on career or focusing on career in the wrong ways. So that could be an undercurrent, better said, still present this month for you, is still trying to grow your sense of home, cultivate your sense of home. Chances are you had big changes in regards to your sense of home and your home itself back in September, but this is still a theme going into October. Now, per usual, we will have a full moon and a new moon this month. The full moon will hit us first on October 6th of 2025 and present from the 3rd through the 9th. I almost said September there, hence why I hesitated. But with the full moon in Aries on the 6th of October, this is bringing revelations, realizations, and fulfillments in regards to your pleasure, play, romance, and dating. So when I say those words, again, I recommend to Sagittarians, pause this video in a minute and ask yourself, which of these words resonates for you as a theme in your life? Pleasure, play, romance, creativity, dating. Do any of those words resonate for you more than the other? Are those a priority? Do you have a creative project? Has you had a lot you've been doing movement in your dating life or focus on your dating life? Have you been focused on what brings you simple pleasure in your life enjoyment? Whatever of those words resonated, maybe all of them did. Point being, the full moon in Aries is bringing a fulfillment here, a realization, a culmination, and potentially a close. So what do I mean by that? Let's back up a little on the data. This full moon in Aries closes out the eclipse portal. The eclipse season began in fall of 2025 on August 23rd, and it closes on the 6th or so, the 9th, with the full moon in Aries. So this is closing out an eclipse portal, and additionally, it's closing out a cycle tied to the eclipse we had in Aries once again on March 27th of 2025. So Sagittarius, you can look back to end of March. What were you doing in regards to your pleasure, play, romance, and dating around that time frame? Were you setting certain intentions? Were you meeting new people? Were you starting new projects? Were you given opportunities to learn new creative hobbies? This is now wrapping up and culminating for the sake of fulfillment and reward here on the 6th of the month. And this could mean letting go. So coming back to that, as I said earlier, this could be letting go of a hobby, letting go of a creative pursuit, letting go of a passion, or it could be finishing a hobby, so to say, finishing a learning maybe. I would think of this as like if you're an artist, finishing a project, or if you're a dancer, up-leveling to a new level, or if it's just dating, maybe experiencing a sense of fulfillment in dating and dating someone a bit more seriously, though this isn't 7th house energy though. So I do want to note that. This regardless is bringing in a fulfillment that aligns you with what an enjoyable life really means in an aura of independence. And then we're going to have on the 21st of the month, the new moon in Libra. So after you have this fulfillment in your simple pleasures in life, now you have set the stage to initiate something new in regards to your purpose, your aspirations, and your community and friend groups. So again, whichever of those words had resonated for you more earlier, now you're probably going to be setting new intentions in this regard and beginning something new around the 21st of October when we have the new moon in Libra. Venus transits both the sign of Virgo and Libra this month. In the first 13 days roughly of the month with Venus in the sign of Virgo, this is you identifying your values in your career, Sagittarius, and finding more love for life through refining your fulfillment in your career. I say refining because this is where the South Node is. And so I think of this of trying to bring purity and beauty, like a sculpture, sculptures are something that are not necessary, but it's a refining process to create them. So you're sculpting out maybe your career in the first 13 days of October. And then when the Venus shifts into the sign of Libra in its home sign, which can be felt very strongly, this brings more value to your life through valuing your purpose, your community, your friend groups. If you're looking for love, the place to look this month is first your career, and then secondarily your friend groups, your community, and your purpose-driven projects. Nonetheless, though, Venus not only tells us where we can find the love of our life, it just tells us what will bring us more love for life. And so with Venus in the sign of Libra from the 13th roughly onward, you're finding a sense of love for life the more you immerse yourself in a community and friend group, Sagittarius. Now, I didn't note this for any other sign horoscopes, but given that it's your planetary ruler, Sagittarius, I do want to quickly note that Jupiter stays in the sign of Cancer the entire month of October, but it creates quite a few square aspects to these Libra energies, given that these are both cardinal signs, so they create a 90-degree angle. And so what I would see maybe happening for you is, Sagittarius, you've been trying to expand your intimate relationships, expand your network that you can really lean on. And instead, maybe you're experimenting this month between finding a network to lean on, finding people to lean on versus being someone other people can lean on. And because basically Cancer represents this very soft, nurture me and I'll nurture you energy. And Libra's more, we are individual people who are fully self-sufficient. We are each our own side of the scale, an equal. And so maybe you're feeling a bit of a confliction this month, Sagittarius, between wanting people to lean on versus wanting to be your own individual. And so if you're feeling that conflict, it's important to just know that squares push you to meet in the middle and find a bit of both. And there may be, simply put, even less of a focus, maybe, I would guess, on your intimate relationships, and you may find more value the more you prioritize your communities and friend groups over intimate relationships. So those are all the transits I really want to cover for you, Sagittarius. What is my top recommendation or piece of advice for the month ahead? Again, these are going to be things I covered in your little desktop thing, wallpaper, that I made you. So feel free to revisit that instead. But overall, given that there is such strong Libra and Scorpio energies, 12th house, 11th house, I would really invite my Sagittarians to, when you feel like you want to put your energy out there, when you feel good, go spend time with community and ask yourself, how can I be both understood here, but also reciprocate and give that understanding? How can I bring value to my communities and networks and make everyone feel approved of, accepted, and welcome? I think this will bring you more fulfillment than you expect in the month of October. And then secondarily, when you are feeling tired, drained, not so social, the best thing for you to do, I think, is to spend that time doing some deeper inner work, to address your emotions, to address your deeper thought patterns, to go deep with yourself and try to understand yourself on a deeper level. Meditate and get into uncomfortable emotional mental zones and see how you can navigate that. Maybe there's a lot of fears there that are just smoke and mirrors, so to say, and that once you work through them, you can feel more liberated, free, and at home, even within your own mind. And additionally, they think the last thing I'd recommend to my Sagittarians is, from a clear point of view, because I do think you should make a priority on these deeper delvings into the mind, so to say, sharing those with others in your community from a place of more clarity can be extremely valuable. And I say more clarity as in maybe not emotionally dumping on people and asking for their support, but saying, this is what I've been thinking about. This is what I've been experiencing. This is what I've been navigating, and that's okay. Or, this is what I've learned. Sharing your deeper thoughts could be more fulfilling for you, and also maybe create some impact in your community and fulfillment in your life. Those are really the main things I'd recommend to my Sagittarians this month. That is your Sagittarius October of 2025 horoscope. Sagittarius, let me know down in the comments below, what is your Sagittarius placement, sun, moon, or rising, or rising. And if you want to go deeper into how exactly this month is going to play out for you based off of your unique birth chart and the numerous different aspects we have happening, including to your planetary ruler, Jupiter, then I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where in 1 hour we can go through all the transits, or as many as possible, to give you that clear picture on what is coming up for you this month and how this is actually all happening for you, not to you. If you're looking to understand the invitations of the universe and where the world is calling you to go, this can be a really great month to do a reading. Additionally, I do offer weekly guidance, so if you want to sign up for weekly coaching, even if it's just for 1 month, then I invite you to book a reading and we can get that set up. Or you can visit my coaching page where you can enroll yourself or get enrolled into I think it's a 3-month program that I have for weekly sessions, also available as bi-weekly and monthly sessions. So point being, if you want more tailored guidance, a reading is the way to go, and we can do it more than once if you want weekly guidance to the stars. And if you prefer the information to be less tailored, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I feel like I could have said that better. Subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications, because I always am posting updates to the stars, both for key dates that are happening and what you need to know about these key dates, astrological transits, and weekly forecasts. If you also prefer written forms of the weekly forecast, join my newsletter where I send weekly forecasts to your email every single week at the beginning of the week on Sunday, including do's and don'ts, contemplation prompts, and the core spiritual lesson that is being presented this week. So if you're wondering what I should think about during all these transits, I keep that at the end of the email so that you don't have to understand all the astrology lingo. That is in the link in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, Sagittarius, and I'll see you next month for your November horoscope, your birthday season horoscope. Once again, my name is Isabel, from my heart to yours. Namaste.